Hello there chaps, this is going to be another video on how to paint the Mortis engine. This time I'm going to focus on the stonework and maybe the underside, just to get all this completely finished. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to give the whole stonework a wash of Bad Black mixed with some Chaos Black, just to sort of thicken it. It's going to be almost a glaze, like quite a thick glaze. Don't overdo this again. You really don't want to. There we go. I've mounted the camera on a better tripod. I actually found my original one, so hopefully you'll be able to see a lot better. And try not to go into the roses. I'm planning on making them a like a greenish colour with like a red for the rose. Sorry if I'm shaking, I'm absolutely freezing. It's early in the morning, so. And what this step does, it just allows you to know where all the detail is and where you should pay attention to. And as you can see, I probably wouldn't have known about that crack there if it wasn't for this wash. So I'm just going to go all down here. Try not to get it on the framework. No, one about this one. And I'm even gonna do the artifact. If you didn't magnetize this, I would highly suggest painting the artifact separate and then gluing in later. Or if you did it like me, I would recommend just taking it out and painting it separately. Because it is so easy to make a mistake when it's all together, then your whole model's ruined. Oh dear, that's kind of a bad move. I just completely got it everywhere. If that happens, just get some tissue, just wipe it off. Hopefully I can get all this this Mortis engine done in one day. That's my challenge, because I've really been slacking is the right word for it, slacking on my army. Okay, just going to make sure that's all. And I think that is. Okay, welcome back. I mixed about 50-50, well, a little bit more black, just to create like a darkish grey. Excuse me. And I'm just gonna dry brush it onto the stone. Now, it's gonna be a slightly heavy dry brush, or slightly wet dry brush, I should say. I'm just going to dry off because there's a little bit of water from when I. There we go. Right. Don't worry about it if it gets a bit too messy. It's all going to be covered over with a black wash anyway, so don't panic. Because ideally we want it a similar sort of shade to the actual surrounding. So I'm just going to try and get the stonework a tad lighter than the framework. The reason why I'm not painting on is because I like the variety in between stones. Some will get more grey than others. Some will get more grey than others, and it will just create a small amount of variety. Because I don't want it to be all uniform and the same. I want it to be messy, if that makes sense. Because do you really think evil undead vampires would when they're building this, all that stone, all the stones not matching, oh dear, get another stone, zombie, get another stone, oh dear, oh, the boss is not going to be happy with this. No, they're not going to be like that. Well, it could be, but yeah. Okay, I think that's on that one. Okay, so then the hair. Okay, now that it's completely dry, I'm just going to go back over that same colour, you know, the darkish grey that we used before. I'm just gonna dry brush it. That won't make much of a difference, but you don't want the colours to be too different when you blend it up, or else it's going to look very cartoony. You don't want it to contrast. Just going to dry brush it, and I'll get rid of any like white that was left over as well. All right. Right, I'll be back to you when that's done. Okay, now we're back. I'm going to try and finish this up quickly, because if I hear that damn noise when the camera's like, what say, when there's not enough battery in the camera, it's like an English person trying to impersonate an American person. It's a woman, so it's like low battery power. Oh, it's awful. Anyway, enough about me. I'm gonna get some white. I'm just gonna put it in that mixture. Just gonna dry it off. Looks quite wet on camera. Yeah. Maybe just quickly shut the door a second, just so the cat won't walk in. Right. We need to try and do where the framework actually meets the stonework. You want to make it so you can tell the difference between the two. So you don't want it to be the same sort of colour. So just be really careful when you're when you're dry brushing or painting in those areas. Just be really, really careful. Oh dear. It's my stomach growling. I don't know if you heard that. Heard. I'm just going to do the artifact if I can find it. Aha. Okay. Now I'm actually going to add a little bit more white, but if I can find it, I'm going to add a tad of green as well. Just a smidging. And please don't complain to me about the whole, I'm using the same brush to mix the paints. They've almost ran out. I don't mix my other colours like that. It's just that these are running out, so I want to, so I don't really care. Let's get a slightly lighter colour. Okay. Do the exact same thing, but slightly lighter. Lighter strokes, that is. And where the cracks are, remember to focus on those areas as well. Because if you put a lighter shade around the cracks, it makes the cracks look more realistic. Just remember to put less where the light wouldn't hit and more where the light would. So I don't know why they added this bit there. I have no idea what it is, like dirt or something. I don't know why they would have that. I don't know if there's anything in the lore about it. I haven't read the lore on this yet, but hey ho. I'm not going to touch that bit yet. I would do, but it's a bit wet at the minute, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Okay, do the exact same on the other part. Okay, a tip, when you're doing dry brushing that an object's coming over something, dry brush it down, because then it creates a sort of a shadow where you haven't hit. Okay, now I'm just going to do it again, even more white. This one's quite significantly lighter. I'm going to get it all off. Well, not all off, bit of an exaggeration, but just most of it off. There we go. We need to hit the camera again. I'll be stingy with this this dry brush. You don't want it to be a coat. I'm only going to add a little bit on the bits that are quite covered by the framework, just because light wouldn't usually hit there that much. Just going to wipe that down actually. Need to go over that with a wash. Well, I'll do that later off camera. Okay. Do the exact same thing again. And a bit more white. Okay. That's going to be very extreme now, just picking out the really high points. I'm not going to be coating it that much, but just enough so. Okay, sorry about that, my camera cut off again. Low battery power. Ugh. Okay, so what I did in the meantime, I just cleared everything up, and some slabs I just got some different washes and just dotted them on, and just slightly mixed them in just to give it a slight variation. I got that off Warboss Tay, so yeah. It was really helpful. It actually does add a load of variation to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Well, you can slightly see it on camera. it just makes it a little bit more interesting, I guess. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take I would have got my fine brush, but I've completely lost it. I've just got some Dark Angels green. It's just the darkest green. And sorry if I like move out of camera. But I'm just gonna put that in there, like that. I mean, you could even treat all that as a stonework. Just gonna check whether you could even treat it as stonework, but I'm just gonna say it's like moss and roses and stuff. I think it just adds a little bit. Just because you don't want it to be just, well, I don't anyway. I don't want it to be just plain black and really dark colours. I know Dark Angels green is a dark colour, but I will be bringing it up. I'm just going to leave any roses green, because I'm going to be probably going to be painting them like red later. Yeah, most people would leave it as stonework. I think that's what's recommended actually on the Games Workshop base. Games Workshop case, sorry. Don't worry if you get any on the skulls. It actually adds a sort of a mossy effect on it, which I think is perfect for the Mortis engine. May look a bit messy, it's because it is. It's extremely hard to paint, just fine detail. One with this brush and two on camera. I will be going over it though, so don't you worry. Just make sure we get every area. You don't want any white showing through. Ooh. I hate that. You know, when you like say S's and they sound like Herbert the Pervert or Family Guy, if you ever watched that. Hello, kids. So I can't do it on demand, but it just happens. S's go really... sounds awful. Doesn't matter if you go over any roads as they're going to be. Just try not to. We're going to paint over them in red. If you do, it just adds a little bit more variation and shading. Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of Goblin Green in the mix, just to brighten it up. We don't want it to be too bright, and I don't know if you can see it there. Sort of a darkish green. Still quite dark, but not too dark. Because unlike the stone, we're not going to do hundreds of layers. Step, we're just going to try and only hit the raised areas as opposed to like a general green. Sorry if I'm not lifting this up going right up to the camera, it's just I want to get it's very precise. Focusing. There we go. I'm going to be applying like a wash over this as well, so it won't be as won't stand out as much, because you really don't want to draw the I don't know what it's called, a spectator, I guess. You don't want to draw the spectator away from like the whole model. You want to keep him interested in the bigger picture. Even though it is good to have them look at the finer details, you don't want something that's supposed to be dark to be quite colourful and bright. Okay, I'm just going to look at this up close a second, just to see where the... Okay. Now what I'm going to do, just wash that off. I'm going to find a... Oh, to hit the camera again. Now I'm going to get a blood red. Since I'm doing this on white, I'm just going to go with a blood red. It's the brightest red you can get. And don't worry, all these colours will be dulled down, as I said before. The thing is, you don't want to splatter it too much, because you don't want it to look like it's blood. Right, I'm going to go off camera and just do that, because I don't want to make a mess of things. Okay, what I did after I let the paint dry, I just went over it with a bad black wash. Now, why I did that is because as I said, I don't want to take the person who's looking at this model to the flowers. And plus, when the what is that, the corpse master on, like necromancer or something, when he sits on, it's barely visible, but it just adds that little bit of awesomeness to the model. Okay, so now last thing, I'm going to work on the this bit here. I've already done the bone from the last video, but I'm just going to paint it in a scorched brown. If I can find a scorched brown, here we go. Alright, water it down a tad. Nope, it could have been disastrous. Try not to get it on the bone, but it doesn't really matter. I'm thinking this is like dirt, so I'm going to paint it in like dirt colours. I don't know exactly what it is. It doesn't matter too much, but just because it's going to be on the bottom of the miniature, and no one's going to pick. If you're playing this, no one's going to pick it up and. Oh, just got someone there. No one's going to pick it up and turn it around. Maybe I should have looked that up before the video. It looks like dirt to me, and I think it will be dirt. Don't cry about it too much. If you get a little bit of dirt on the skulls, if anything, it adds more realism to the model, because they're not going to be perfectly clean in dirt. But just try and keep it